Hi, and thank you so much for popping by. My name is Dr. Rita Pobalozwi, and you're most welcome to this conversation today. There have been multiple court cases in Botswana in context to the protection of human rights and the dignity of the LGBTQI plus community. And a few of these cases stand out for me specifically because I was serving in the newsroom when they broke out, and in some instances reported on some of the cases. One such case is the 2003 Kanane versus State, of which the core issue needing to be determined was whether sexual acts between consenting adult men in private violated the Constitution of Botswana. Kanane was caught having sexual relations with a man. Kanane went on to challenge Section 164, which made it a criminal offense for him and his then male partner to have what was described in this law as carnal knowledge against the order of nature. At the time, the High Court ruled that the issue of same-sex relations was un-African and that Botswana were not ready for the decriminalization. The second case, which stands out for me as a milestone case for LGBTQI plus rights in Botswana, is the 2019 case when the Gaborone High Court ruled to decriminalize Section 164 and 165 of the Penal Code and also severed Section 167 from the Penal Code. Therefore, it took almost 16 years after the Kanane case before the courts decriminalized same-sex relations in Botswana. By decriminalizing consensual same-sex relations, Botswana joins 22 other African nations. Within Southern Africa, South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, and Lesotho, including Botswana, do not criminalize same-sex relations. And South Africa is the only country in Africa that has both decriminalized homosexual acts and also permits having same-sex couples legally married. The third case, which feels like a sense of progress for Botswana's LGBTQI plus rights, is that of the lesbian couple Bonolo Selelo and Tsholofelo Kumile, a case which is set to be heard this year on the 14th to the 15th of July. Bonolo and Tsholofelo are challenging the constitutionality of the Marriage Act, arguing that it is unconstitutional for the act to outlaw same-sex marriages. One of the major issues that typically stands out during these court cases and rulings, and according to the sources or human rights experts that I have interviewed, are the deliberations on whether it is the law or the people's attitudes that should come first. In 2019, when I was penning an article for the Botswana Guardian, a Botswana lawyer I spoke with mentioned that in the context of the Kanane case, one of the greatest challenges was that one of the fundamental statements the Court of Appeal made was that the public itself was not ready to accept homosexuality, which is why this lawyer reinforced that the Kanane ruling was not based on inclusion, that it was a ruling based on public morality, Christian principles, and social norms. These are the same publics, the churches and the cultural groups that are creating resistance to the lesbian couple's case. Points of moralization and Christianity are why some members of the public are opposed to Bonolo and Tsholofelo's proposed intentions of getting married. Hence why LGBTQI plus advocates require time and resources to educate and create awareness amongst Botswana in order to shift community perceptions so that Botswana are not left behind as the law progresses. If the intention is to be populist in approach and seek buy-in from the community, timing is a key aspect of whether there will be community buy-in or not, particularly when it comes to highly divisive issues such as the LGBTQI+. These divisive issues include the establishment of the Constitutional Court, which is perceived as having a strong association or link to human rights, such as the protection of the LGBTQI plus rights and issues of the death penalty. Hence why the resistance from specific publics to the establishment of the Constitutional Court in Botswana. Alrighty, my friend, I thank you so much for popping by. I hope you are having a lovely day where you are, but most importantly, I hope you are having a healthy day wherever you're watching me from. Bye.